to be talking about the privilege of white rappers. Things do for white rappers come across as a lot easier in terms of just, how quickly they could rise. If you could get on and you could get your foot in the door, the sky literally is the limit for them. Mm-hmm. And so you see these examples. It's not to say that all of them are bad. It's not to discredit them as bad people. So make sure I start off by saying that. But the biggest thing is we do see some of those things where we have white rappers and they come into this game and they do manage to take advantage of the systems that they have going on, things that work for them. They may have a hit and it could be a smash, and the biggest thing that may surprise for them, the biggest thing that may get that hit to keep going is, oh, yo, the white rapper did that. And they would just support it, keep it going, keep it rolling. Half of it's novelty in terms of the fact when you first check it out. I think one of the biggest examples of this is kind of first, or one of the most recent examples that we have is like Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow became a pretty big guy after What's Poppin', which came out, I think, 2020, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so after What's Poppin', Jack Harlow became pretty mainstream, widely known name. And recently, Jack Harlow just had another song come out, First Class, and it went number one. Number one first week, Billboard 100. And the biggest thing about that is people work extremely hard. You have songs that are like out for like months before they finally hit number one. It's easier these days to hit number one because of streaming, just to put that all to the side and just to make sure that we acknowledge the elephant in the room. Because of streaming, anybody can hit number one. It's not the same struggle. Still hard, but doable. And for that, went number one. It was pretty much just a very bland rap song. Not to say it's bad, just a bland rap song. Like I've heard at least probably 5 or 6 rappers probably make a similar song. No offense to him. And so I guess it's kind of like starting off. I know what I was talking about charting success. Do you all agree with that? What do you think about white rappers and how easy they may have it in terms of charting success and that type of thing?
Yeah, just bringing it down to like the foundational level, like of hip hop. Hip hop is very like black. Hip hop and rap came out of like not necessarily black struggle, but like we didn't really have a lot of alternate options. So that's really just us having fun. It started off like we didn't expect to make a lot of money off of it, but started off just like an escape, like from the everyday struggles that we're going through. So whether that's rap, whether that's breakdancing or DJing, like whatever it was, the trio was at that time, like that was our outlet. And so for a very long time, like as rap started to progress and we started to realize, oh, you can make some money off of this. Like a lot more black people started going that route. And it was very much like ours. It was like our thing. We started from the ground up. Like it was ours. And so when you had people like, I don't really know who the first white rapper was, but I know like Vanilla Ice comes to mind like early on in that era. Beastie Boys coming out very early in that age. Then you have the Eminems of the world. So like a lot of times when you have something that's exclusively ours and that we kind of built from the ground up and you see them, they're already able to get into rooms that we're not able to get in. They're already able to network. They might have contacts. Their dad might know some of them. And granted, some of them do come out of poverty. I think Eminem did have a rough time starting out, but even still, like you can, like I know a lot of times in the black community, it's like that fake it till you make it. They can fake it and fake it like a lot further than we can in those spaces. They can say their dad is whoever, or they might know certain people. It's marketable to like reach those other communities that black people typically aren't able to reach. So I think starting off, like there's that initial resentment that they have it easier to get in rooms that we can't get into. And I think that's where a lot of the like, oh, like he's white, like why is he, I don't care how good he raps, he's a white guy, like so I just can't buy into it. Like you have to, I think for white rappers, you have to be initially, like a lot of people were looking at them to be like in the black community were like, oh, you have to be like really, really good for us to even fuck with you. Like, and I think, and Eminem's probably the only person, Mac Miller, obviously, like, there's a lot of people that came, like, down the line, but, like, it's a very exclusive space for us, and then for people that intrude on that who already have a leg up, so to speak, it's kind of like a, kind of spin the face a little bit, like, oh, damn, like, we started this, but here y'all come, like, strolling in, you know?
Yeah, it's just because, as a white rapper, like, in general, like, hip-hop is a black piece of art, and like even if it's probably it is popular music, but in general, the hip hop audience is black people, and black people represent a small percentage of the consumer base of entertainment. So when you're a rapper and you're really good, especially like if you can be like one of the hottest rappers in the world, but usually like you're talking about maybe like Lil Baby or Moneybagg Yo, they're very popular, but in that one segment of the audience. Right. So when you're a white rapper and you're getting a push from the labels, you're gonna have some black people that mess with you, but you also have whatever percentage of black people of the black audiences. Say it's like 10%. Then you're gonna have when you're white and you're getting a push. You're gonna have the white people percentage, and that's the biggest piece of the pie, 30-40%. So automatically you already just have like a massive advantage of it.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about skill, because Jack Harlow, I think he's a fine rapper. When he came out with that song 2 years ago, I knew exactly what was gonna happen. I was like, all right, he's a white guy. He's gonna be the hugest. He's gonna be the biggest star in like 2 years. Same thing with Post Malone, because I love Post Malone. Before White Iverson even got hot, I heard that song. I was like, this song is really, really great. Literally, but 5-6 months later, he's selling out festivals and shit, and then he comes out and says what he says about hip hop, and you don't feel anything with hip hop. It's not like blues or whatever rock, and that's his opinion, whatever. But I do think white rappers in general, they have an advantage because they just have that second. They can reach from that white audience.
Yeah.
Relatability.
You see Eminem on Twitter. Like anytime anybody says anything about Eminem has fans on Twitter just like Nicki Minaj fans or Beyonce fans that just attack you, and they're always white people. Oh, Eminem's the best rapper. You're probably like one of those mumble rappers. Da da da. That's fine if that's your point, but you go and you look at that person's profile. Eminem is probably the only hip hop person they listen to.
Yeah.
That's the wildest thing.
And
talking about the pillars of hip hop and all this fundamental crap about that. That is the wildest thing.
I went back and watched. This was years ago. I watched the Up in Smoke tour. I think it was with Dr. Dre,
Ice Cube,
and I think Eminem was on the tour. And the thing was, when Eminem came out, like Eminem had the biggest crowd reaction, and the entire crowd singing were white. They were just white college kids, and I guarantee you, none of them really knew too much about Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre, but they were just there to see Eminem.
Yeah. Granted, his debut album had just come out recently.
Right. Yeah, and I'm saying, and Eminem would be the first person to tell you. There's a song called White America. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the podcast before, where he said if I was black, I would have sold half. Like he's relatable to white kids, and they're gonna see that. And especially now, I feel like the hip hop culture we're way more tolerant about just mixing in cultures and all that.
Yeah.
So a white rapper with Jack Harlow who looks cool like that, I guarantee you, man, he's gonna be. Every festival coming up, he's gonna be he's like middle tier right now. This time next year, he's gonna be selling out everything.
I want to see his middle tier right now.
I'm
about to say, just be real with you.
I have no problem with him as a rapper. I think he's a
and that's the biggest thing that I will say. I'm
not gonna support it because like you can't. And it's nothing wrong with it. Like he's not doing anything wrong. Just like Macklemore was. They tried with Macklemore because the thing was. Like Darian said, the Beastie Boys were good. They made good music too, but like Beastie Boys, they were hip hop, but they also dug in with the rock and the techno stuff, and that was their.
They're respected by black people. I'm
not saying.
I'm not trying to say. I was gonna say like I'm just adding in what you're saying like in terms of that. Yeah,
I have a ton of Beastie Boys on my hip hop playlist.
And that's like one of those things that it's like it has to be mentioned within that conversation. Just like in terms of like them, we're not trying to shit on them. Like in terms of who they are,
it just is what it is. Like I mean, like you're white and you get an advantage because you're white. They were literally the first big white hip hop act. They were Jewish kids from Brooklyn, and like Jewish kids in New York. I hang around with the black kids over there, and we talk. Oh, we have Beastie Boys. We can talk. And you have LL Cool J. We can go to the Knicks game and all that. Starts there. They tried it with Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice, literally industry plant. That work you gotta hit, but they kind of push back with Vanilla Ice.
That's the one whose card has been pulled.
Eminem, very talented, but they all knew Eminem's gonna be a superstar. Eminem, it worked.
Yeah, with Dr. Dre behind them too. Yeah.
And like sometimes it doesn't work. Like Iggy Azalea, it worked for like a summer, and they got that out.
To be absolutely fair,
she had a lot against her though. She was also
she's
female. Like that was tough.
They also gave her a black sit, and they also had her talking about something.
She's from Australia
and all that.
Why is she talking about?
She should have been bigger.
I mean,
she got to go rap.
They screwed it up. That's what I'm
sometimes I do like it when hip hop just says no. We're not accepting this. They did it with Macklemore too. Sorry, Macklemore, you're good. You make fine music, whatever. We're not accepting.
I think I'm about to say I made that point like a couple podcasts ago. He deserved at least one of those points he got. Just not the one where not all of them. Yeah, he did.
Not talking about G-Eazy.
I was gonna actually bring that up into a bigger point that I was gonna make about all of this, where it is like
even G-Eazy too. Like he sells a ton of records, and I don't understand what it is. Like these guys, what I never understand about these artists is that I never see like the natural progression of you hear about this guy, so it bubbles,
it's
and then there. They literally just go from point A to point B.
Mac Miller, I think he had a natural progression.
Listen, man, I have some hot takes about Mac Miller because Mac Miller. I liked Mac Miller when he first came out. Good, full transparency. I liked white rappers growing up. Like Eminem was my favorite rapper. Eminem was my favorite rapper. Period. And I like Mac Miller Mac Miller's when he first came out in 2011, 2012, when he was just like basically Asher Roth, like ooh, cool white kid who would make fun music. And then he kind of switched into being more hip hoppy, but like he benefited from it too. Not he wasn't.
They all do. They all do.
You know.
They all do.
And I was gonna say the biggest thing about all of that is like for a lot of these guys, they use the hip hop to make like one album, then they'll go do some other stuff. That's what I was gonna say about MG. Him, but like MGK. MGK has made like 2 pop rock albums, and they've sold better than anything he ever did for hip hop. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is now he wants to return to rap. Now for him, I will say, he started off doing rap, fine, but rap didn't sell. He still stuck with it, but rap didn't sell for him. And so he went, did the pop rock thing, and it worked for him. He sold like 100,000 records for like one of them albums, like first week, And that's good numbers. And so it's one of the things where it's like, oh, okay, I did that, I want to come back to hip hop. I usually will cut G-Eazy slack because I feel like we don't know about G-Eazy as much because other side of the country. Some of it is like, if it's Oakland, we don't know as much about that. I'll say that, but I will say this at the same time. Once G-Eazy did blow up, he put out some weird alternative album. Wasn't as good. Because he had like 2 of them that were pretty big. I think it was like The Beautiful and the Damned, and there was one out right before that. And I actually like those. But then he put out some alternative album. Now the hard thing about some of these dudes is they do this all the time. They will put out some stuff that's like cool, and it's like it's not even bad rap music. Macklemore did the same thing. They'll put out some rap music that's actually pretty decent. But then they'll be like, hey, now that I'm on, this was the stuff that I really wanted to do. I want y'all to hear this alternative album that I got here. And it's just like, all right, the big thing is like, and that's true. And my biggest issue with the alternative music is that it sucks. And so it's just like, if it wasn't for rap, you wouldn't have made it.
But the question always is, like, are you just wearing a skin? Were you just
wearing
a hip-hop skin?
But that's not fair, though, because, sometimes you just...
Because Miley Cyrus did the same thing.
but they're artists, though, at the same time. So, you can't really... I think we're assuming sometimes, too, because, we can say some black hip-hop, like, I'll give you the one that comes to my mind just because I was listening to it, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was on the top of the world, and he wanted to go do a rock album for, what was it, Hot Revolver or whatever, it didn't do well, and then what did he do? He came back and...
Talked about cunnilingus for 10 years.
So, it's kind of like,
I think it's
different. A lot of people get mad at Lil Wayne for making fun of
space.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's different.
Created by
I understand, but we're held out of rock music.
Yeah. It's very much a white genre.
I
think Lil Wayne had to be big enough, like to the point which he was, like to try something like that. He couldn't come out the gate and try something like that.
Album. I feel like that's the album he just made it. Like he just made. Oh,
this
is
something to do.
I
feel like he was serious.
I think he was.
I feel like he was serious about that.
It was some serious jokes about it.
And that shit was good though.
I like that.
I don't take your word for that one.
I don't know, because I guess like when I look at it compared to Post Malone, him making just pop music now, I think that's calculated. This is my progression. I think Lil Wayne, like, I'm the biggest rapper in the world. There's really no competition right now. What else can I do? Oh, let's make a rock.
Same thing with Jay-Z doing that joint with Linkin Park.
Exactly. It's like, okay, let's try this too.
Yeah, and the issue, because it's like, it's like the biggest, one of the things is that we were talking about. For hip hop music, people will let anybody into the door, basically. But if, like, K. Michelle has talked about for, like, years, she wanted to do a country music album. Country music, based down there in Nashville, they are very protective of who the hell they let into their industry. You know how many black country artists actually blow up? It's like the niggas who's in the Bloodfish.
Look at Lil Nas.
Just think about how they treated Monica and, what's his name? Falcons, whatever his name is. Like, they had an issue with him hosting the Country Music Awards. Like,
Anthony Mackie, I got you. And that's one of the things about it. It's like, bruh, because with, like, okay, Lil Nas X, some of me I can understand because it seemed like a farce. I can understand that if you get upset, that may seem like a joke.
Yeah.
Which some people
shit. Like,
I got you.
What Lord Jamar was like. You said to Black. Vlad asked, "Oh, what if a white person came in there like playing blackface or whatever?" And Lord Jamar was like, "What the hell do you think Post Malone is?" And
I understand that, but I guess I'm saying like even if we go, Lil Nas X is like the hard one, but I'm saying even if you go to people that can actually sing, like actually natural, like natural singing talent, like K. Michelle has a natural singing voice. Really good, could do country. Like, shout out to her. It's just one of those things where it's like they're still selective at the end of the day. Even if it's not like, Old Town Road could be taken as a joke song. That's what I'm saying. Even if you were trying to make dead ass serious, this is country music, I want to be in Nashville. And that's just one of those things where it's like, the gatekeepers over there, they're real strict about it. But for us, it's like, all right, we gonna let you in. Like, you cool, you may make a song. Or you may be like cool with black people where it's like, like G-Eazy, all the black people from Oakland that are like OGs in that area, they respect him. They don't say nothing bad about the dude. So, it's one of the things where it's like, they can come in, get respect, do what they need to do. But for us, if we want to go do some other genre, if 4 of us were to make a punk rock band today, How many people gonna let us into the? I don't know. Where the rock people?
Rock music. I was looking at something there. Rock music.
Rock
Rock
music
music
is
is
dead.
dead. There is dead. There's like no like rock out like
30
that
Seconds
shit
to
is
Mars.
Dead.
They still exist.
I mean, but I think the biggest thing sometimes though, you gotta have credit though. Like, you know what I'm saying? You talk about G-Eazy.
Fair.
If we want to go do we want to do a pop rock album, we would have to have some
Punk
type.
rock, bro.
Well, you know what I'm saying? We have to have some type of street cred. Like,
None of these white rappers have any type of cred.
I mean, you talk about G-Eazy having street cred or some type of credit.
Respect from your peers.
I'm not talking maybe so like you need to catch a body or like you know slide for a nigga or some shit. But I'm just saying like
you don't gotta do that, but like you have to have some type of credibility. You have skill. That's what I'm saying. Like if
Jack Harlow, I mean
sometimes
Jack Harlow can rap.
if it was one of those things where like I hear this person bubbling, and over time it just it's a natural progression. Like it takes J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar like 2, 3, 4 years underground for him to get to the top, or somebody else like that. Jack Harlow literally, like you said, 2 years. Like 2 years, huge star.
Yeah,
but and like Dante said, like for black people, even if you let K. Michelle in at the Grand Ole Opry to perform in Nashville, she's only gonna get us so far in country music. They ain't gonna let her go to the top. We let them just be the biggest stars.
But why?
Help it.
Okay, but again, I think my biggest thing is like we're open to it. Why are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because yes, it's wrong that if K. Michelle wanted to do some country album, like that's their problem. You know what I'm saying? Like what we got going on over here is when we talk about equality or we talk about people being in our space. Like, but I think if we have a problem with people being inauthentic, that's a different issue than having white rappers.
Yeah, because I'm not sure they're all like there for hip hop. Like I'm not sure. I like Post Malone music. I'm not sure he's like really has hip hop's best interest in mind. I think he just wants to get it.
But do you believe that
or Iggy Azalea or
Migos have hip hop in mind? Do you think that because we can question a lot of people about hip hop, like does it have to be? I think we're holding hip hop to like this sacred grail when it really isn't in the last.
Because hip hop is black culture.
They make hip hop music. They never not made hip hop music. They didn't get on just to say, all right, we're on now. Now I want to do my passion.
That's what they are.
Yeah, bando.
If they're putting out music about their experience, that is hip hop. Like whereas like a white rapper, like they're using that. They didn't really experience the same type of stuff, so they're kind of using that sound.
But
like,
Jack Harlow's not rapping about any of that.
That's not what
he's using the sound. That's what I'm saying. Not the experience. He's using the sound.
Like Eminem, I'm fine with that. I really feel like
Eminem
loves hip hop. Like I never questioned Eminem.
Yeah.
But does hip hop have to be about struggle or
No. The sound.
The sound, bro.
Okay,
It's hip hop. You have to love hip hop. I'm just saying when you get hot, like Dante said, I'm hot now. Let me try my punk pop album. Let me try my electric album. This is what that's really what you wanted to do the whole time. You just used hip hop to get on. That's a problem.
That's not necessarily true because hip hop isn't always the quickest way to get on though. Because they can go.
Hip hop is it now. Hip hop is it.
But I mean, also country is it. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
Hip hop is basically pop music. If you listen to all the beats today, they're all basically sampled.
Pop music right now is literally every Ariana Grande album.
Hip hop is it.
Ed Sheeran is basically making black music now. That's randomly happening.
But I'll say like white people like Billie Eilish so much. Billie Eilish about to like dope music, but I mean it's got some copies. But the biggest thing that I'll say there, just in terms of that, is I'm not even trying to say that they can't do that. The biggest thing is that we do let people in. They don't. And so that is a problem where it's like, why are we always the ones that go, hey, come on, man, you can join the party. But then any other genre, it's like, they going to put up a fight or something like that. And I'm not trying to pick on country music specifically. Absolutely. And I'm not trying to pick on country music specifically, but that is the one that's like known to just straight up say no. Like for rock music, you can find Prince was a rock star to be absolutely fair, but it's just like, you can find
Prince, so they wasn't like the real rock people.
Okay,
they wasn't fucking with Prince. Not they did like Prince, people. But like they weren't.
But I'm just saying, like you can find people who like you can make it to the top. And like Prince, that's a hard one anyway because the music is it's just Prince. I'm saying he's a rock star, but he's just Prince. But I'm just saying, like within these other genres, you can find like maybe a group that got a black guy, or, other things. I can't think of a rock group with a leading black man, but Jim Class. But the biggest thing is like it's just like you could find these pockets. With that one, they're strictly saying no. But with hip hop, it's like with hip hop, we try to be very polite. It's like, oh, okay, you're bringing something different. You're bringing a new taste, a new flavor, and so it's like even like with the way that, and I have nothing against it. It's like even with the way that you like work in like a Latino Hispanic culture or vibe. And I'm not trying to say anything mean about that. It's like we literally work in every sound. Unlike other types of music, hip hop actually does try to just unify and take a lot from, not take a lot, but like get a lot from everybody.
Well, that's how the evolution of hip hop has happened though. because we are able to take different sounds in a way because
Could we just?
You
We're
mean it from what though?
huh?
You mean from other cultures? I don't think any culture is as advanced hip hop except black people.
We literally
Yeah,
are.
we do, man.
We literally are hip hop.
I don't know.
Hip hop's the one genre that
That's
expands
some
the
black-
fashion,
that's some
that
black-
expands so
They're
many
We're
things.
talking about
They're
Afro
different.
Latina.
Yeah, I'm just saying
talking
we,
about, like,
but even for them, most of them, it would be like a black artist that would bring it back into the hip hop.
Yeah.
They listen to us like that's what
They make their own type of sound. That's fine.
I was
That's
like,
a-
If
I watched
anything, they
a
expose
video
our
of
culture to that.
Italian drill rap yesterday.
You
Oh
watch-
my
right,
God.
you retweeted it on my timeline. That's what I saw.
And I don't have a problem with that. Well, no,
Not that type
wasn't the
of
dude
rap.
white, but like if there's
Yeah, he was
if
white.
it's other people,
Well, he's
that's
Italian.
whatever, but
We can tell we're a pizza.
I said, what?
Yeah. I can't call it why that is though, cause like even when you see like you know we're in social media age, you see a white girl or somebody just rapping.
Oh,
some
shout out
hard
to Hannah
black-
from this week that
Like
I rapped
music,
that
little baby joint, like we're just like, so, oh yeah, she with it, but like the other way around, like they don't treat us like that. So I can't really place why we're so.
Then somebody like retweeted the video like
Because
the
it's
shorty rapping
different.
video
Because you don't
butcher, like-
see it, and it also gives you a false
yeah, and then once
accepted.
she's making millions off OnlyFans off and not doing sex shit, but just like literally, oh, I was that girl.
Yeah.
But if
They already canceled.
but if a little black
Yeah,
girl,
cancel it.
if a
She
little
called
black
Bobcat
girl
nigga.
starts singing some fucking
Yeah, it was an
Carrie
OT.
Underwood song
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
like nobody gonna care about that.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody
it's
cares
bullshit.
about us
Bruh.
singing those type of songs. Lil Nas X is probably the one exception that I saw come through, like just break.
He had to fight.
Because
And then that was only after Billy Ray Cyrus helped him.
I think that
Absolutely.
that did help.
But how many allies do we have on that side? Becomes the question where it's like, you know, like,
None.
and that's what I'm saying. Like on the black side, bro, you know how many, like I'm saying, you know how many black dudes will vouch for like these, for lack of a better word, these outsiders? They'll just vouch for them, be like, yo, he cool, he dope.
He cool, man.
And I'm about to say, bro, not even off of some, they're trying to get, they know they're trying to get money. It's true. But at the same time, a lot of them just vouch for us, like, yo, he a cool dude.
Think
He's
of the
making
biggest
cool
pop
music.
stars in the
That's
world.
because we know how it feels to be
But-
outside.
Think of the biggest
We
pop stars
nice.
in the world, with the exception of Taylor Swift. But even then, maybe almost all of them have like either a black phase when they went their music or their aesthetic changed to like a hip hop look. All of them: Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Ariana Grande.
Lady Gaga.
I don't know about Lady
Oh,
Gaga.
she had a whole
So,
rap album.
Wale-
Yeah, right now?
She had no rap.
She did.
She had no rap.
What the joke that she did? Y'all never seen Cake by Lady Gaga?
I don't know what he's talking about. I just want to hear him talk.
I don't know who's out. She probably had a track. She
Oh.
had no album.
You go ahead and do your research. You keep talking. Let him do his research. Bro, wait till Olivia Rodrigo make her hip hop album about 2 years.
She next. She next.
Camilla-
Driver's license, Mo.
Camilla
Her music's pretty good,
Cabella.
like-
She might get stick in her lane.
The Camilla Cabella, the girl from
Havana has
she
Young
has-
Thug.
one,
Yep.
like,
Now
she
she
did
makes
the
like
Young
just
Thug.
straight up regular. I don't know what the word.
I mean,
That was
Justin
one track.
Bieber's aesthetic has been hip hop for like 10 years.
But now the thing is, if you know you want to blow up, you want to do a track with a hip hop artist. Like, bro, remember the baby was on like 5 different pop songs at one point.
Hip hop is it right now.
And that's what we were saying. Hip
Hip-hop
hop
is
is
it.
pop. And but we always know that. We like, all right, so we're gonna let you go ahead and get a gander.
Right.
Shout out to Gator for the Dave show. And we're gonna let you get a gander. We're gonna let you use us, and you know it's gonna bump you up.
I'm glad you said the Dave show because I meant to bring up Lil Dicky too. Lil Dicky's another one. Like Lil Dicky
I just
again.
don't respect him.
Why?
It's
not that
comedy,
I
you
respect him, but why does he get a TV show? Like, why doesn't Danny Brown have a show on FX? You know what I mean? Like it's the same type of like eclectic type rapper, but Lil Dicky's white and you know he makes joke rap, so we can get him a show on FX. Like,
You guys are right because I'm thinking about a Danny Brown album in retrospect.
Like-
It sounds fairly similar.
and
to
Danny
what
Brown
Lil
got a
Dicky
show, but it was on fucking Fuse that like 3 people have on their cable subscription.
I put Gambino in that class and he got a show, so I think.
Well, he had to be on Community first because most white
That's-
people,
oh, yeah, that's
most
true. I
people
forgot
don't know
about
that he's
that.
white.
But, bro, to be actually fair, he always knew what the game was. He knew. I think he was always
He's
on
smart.
the inside of the joke, and that is one of the things.
I
He
remember
always
the
did it.
first time I ever saw an interview. This was before, because Dante used to tell me he was a rapper. I used to make fun of him. I was like, but then I realized he was. But I watched the interview of him maybe 8, 9 years
Breakfast Club,
ago.
right?
And he started talking about race, like for real. And it was like, shocked me. I was like, whoa. He's saying that.
He been
He's
knew about the game, and that's why he was all. He's another dude they thought was safe.
Yeah.
That's why you watch some of these episodes of Atlanta, they like, oh nigga, you got this on TV. I mean, sometimes I just want the story, but generally speaking, it's one thing where you thought he was a safe dude, but then you learn, oh,
She's on a lot of rap songs.
Cool.
Lady Gaga.
what is a lot?
Yeah, well,
Wale
Wale and
15. She's on. That's a lot.
I only know the joint with Wale.
Y'all know any rap songs Taylor Swift on or Billie Eilish? I'm just saying.
I don't know any.
Taylor Swift's on one rap song. She
Which
got
one is
one. She
that?
got one B.O.B.
My point was, I was talking about.
I'm just saying, but that's not pop star.
I was talking about like
Hey,
their music. Lady Gaga, Freeman never made it.
You said she on 15.
She never made a
You
hip hop
said she
song.
on 15 rap songs, and I feel like that's a stretch.
That's a
If anything, she
on
made a
15
country
and
one.
she made a rap song.
What are the 15
rap
songs she's on?
Who cares? No one cares.
Between, just in between.
My general, like, nothing against the white rappers. Just like,
Yeah.
I feel like it takes away from black artists' ability to get hot. Like, Jack Harlow shouldn't be bigger than Moneybagg Yo. I feel like he is. So
No.
I think it's.
What's Poppin' was a bigger song than Moneybagg. Anything
Yeah.
Moneybagg Yo put out.
Well, I mean,
That's because
not-
Moneybagg
I'm
got a
about to say,
specific niche. He
Yeah.
don't make.
No, I'm not
he
even
don't make
knocking
just
that.
hits.
Trap rap.
I just use them as an example, but like.
But even then, the remix
Yeah,
to
bigger
What's
Migos,
Poppin' is the thing that
you know.
gets you the biggest. And I mean, most of that, there's like a bunch. It's like every hot artist hopping on the white dude's song because we know we gonna get that look.
I think it's too late. It's only gonna get worse because now, like we said,
Oh,
hip hop
he's-
is the
yeah,
main
yeah.
thing. Like we talk, if we was arguing like in the era of Eminem, like we can probably gatekeep a little bit
We can
more.
do
But
that.
now,
I feel
now
like
this is it.
We do gatekeep to a way though, because I mean, I think we're missing in on people like, you know, God was so like Lil Perp, Lil Sky. Well, no, Lil Perp's still alive. Lil Sky. We got what's the other buddy with the
Lil
Lil
Sky?
Xan?
Lil
Lil
Sky?
Xan. No, these are white rappers. That
Lil
shit.
Scott, I don't think it's. What's he talking? First,
Racially
I'm
ambiguous.
saying,
Sorry,
like,
go ahead, because my bad.
What was the buddy that was
Oh,
Latino that he had the curly
Lil Pump.
Lil Pump?
Lil Pump, yeah.
Like y'all forget about people like that.
What?
Takashi 6ix9ine.
What
Like
about him?
I'm just saying, like y'all talk about we don't gatekeep, we let people on. Like we didn't let any of those people on.
No, we just don't like fake shit. That's what we don't.
Bro, fucking
6ix9ine,
Tekashi
what
was
you
a
mean?
fucking huge star. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Lil Xan, like he made
I don't
probably
think
made
Lil Xan.
millions.
Bro, we
off
did.
those
We had
albums.
this conversation.
We had this conversation.
His
Nobody
videos
did.
up until he started going to jail almost all had like a billy.
Yeah.
Or it was a lot. The views was crazy.
It's just because they were SoundCloud
crazy.
rappers and like their shit just. It
Oh, yeah,
was made, so
SoundCloud
it's
made the
kinda-
fizzle.
You know what opened the gates for more white rappers? I think it was Kanye and Drake. Because you can just rap about being a normal person.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Before that, like Eminem got through like.
I would say it's
he was
Eminem
kinda-
though, because Eminem he was.
But he was still like had a rough upbringing, so he like a lot of people when you meet him, he's like, oh, he's authentic, like he's hood, like you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
it wasn't too many Eminems.
Like now you have, I'm about to say, we're in the day where like you just said, the kid that just had a bar mitzvah can make a rap album. And
That's what I'm
is-
saying, like,
you
you rap about
yeah,
anything.
it's like, bro, it is a lot of that is thanks to just regular guy rap.
Yeah.
That is like a pretty big thing.
And I don't want to say, and I don't want people to think I have a problem with white rap, but I don't. It's just, if it was one of those things where like,
yeah,
there's so many white rappers just become the biggest star in hip hop
oh, Cudi too.
just because they're white rappers. I think that's a problem.
And I'm about to say, to
I
give
think
something.
that anomaly though, bro. Because I
I
mean,
don't
we
think
use
they're
sports.
anomalies anymore.
We use sports for example. If you see a black hockey player, you're like,
He is
oh,
an anomaly.
That's not true because there's a ton of black hockey players and no one cares about them.
I don't really know too many.
Make my point.
That's because they
Because they're not good. Though.
You know about Evander Kane though?
I don't know who that is.
Exactly. You don't. Evander Kane is problematic. He's a great player. You don't know who Evander Kane is.
But I'm just saying, because they're
Exactly.
not good though.
I just told you he's a great player. Very
That's
good.
one.
Oh, you know.
What about the dude that played for the Caps?
They don't have a black player.
They did.
That's black
When
guy
they won
other
the
years
playoff.
ago.
When
This
won
is my
the-
point.
when won
They
the
don't have a
when they won the
black-
Stanley Cup. They had a black guy
I
on the
don't
team.
understand.
And he
what
was.
the point is.
Yeah, Devontae Smith Pelly.
Yeah.
Aaron told us he sucked the
He's not
entire
in the league.
time.
He hasn't been in the league in 3 years.
Exactly my point. The thing
They're
is that
anomalies.
what I'm saying.
Bro, they're good hockey players though. So that's a bad point. My point.
No, he's saying they're good white rappers too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's good white rappers too.
The good black players in hockey don't get to be the hottest selling jerseys.
Black people don't get a leg up
You're
in
calling
anything.
I mean, if
you're
you
calling
think
it
about
a
it,
false
Kane-
equivalency.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a fall for
Black people don't get a leg up in anything.
Thank
So
you.
that's the difference. That's
No.
the difference.
Mm-mm.
Whereas white people can infiltrate anything.
Exactly.
Anything,
It's huge.
Anything.
Huge.
Well,
Just make sure y'all don't let on them two little white dudes that got the twist in their head like the Cynthia doll. I forgot what they named.
Oh, the Island Boys. You're right. Them too, bro.
Oh,
like,
my
yeah.
God.
Who won the Grammy or whatever?
Island boy.
That white reggae group, I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Y'all saw that?
Island boy.
That too.
I was
That's
like,
what
what
I'm saying,
the fuck
though.
was that?
Like, yeah, like,
And make sure we keep what's his name out too. Tom Cruise or something. Nah, not Tom Cruise. My bad. Tom
Oh.
Hanks' son. Check.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't stand him.
But him too, though, right? He just does the cute little videos.
But we checked them though, so that's what I'm saying. It's different.
Chet Hanks still. Chet Hanks still cool.
No, they checked the shit out of Chet Hanks, bro. Are you kidding me?
Jack Harlow just shouldn't be the
Star.
big, like, shouldn't be the biggest rapper. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Soulja. That's the SOJA.
Nigga,
It's like we go in spurts of like wanting to keep to a point, and then we'll stop. Like in the mid 2010s, we were
won a Grammy Best Reggae Album.
like in the mid 2010s, we were doing again Iggy Azalea, like no, sorry, Macklemore, I'm sorry, thank you for your time. MGK, thank you for your time. That's okay. Like if you're good, you're good, but it just can't be. Iggy Azalea was huge in 2014, randomly just because she
got robbed of a
She got-
Grammy.
She got vouched by T.I.
Who she got beats with?
Honestly, I feel like people didn't even know she was signed by T.I. That wasn't even what it was.
I thought
That
that was
Grammy-
the whole leading thing.
The lead in.
That was like
she
the
became
time-
popping.
yeah.
Nobody cared about Grand Hustle no more.
Yeah.
By the time, what was her joint?
You trying to make something like
Ariana Grande and all
like
that?
Lil
Or
Wayne
Fancy
had,
Drink?
Young Money.
Yo, Fancy should have won the Grammy.
That was a huge song. I don't know.
There are certain white songs I will say deserve it.
I guess Post Malone is the one that wrote it for me. When he came out, made all
Damn,
those
I be
comments.
thinking like
did.
Fergalicious. You know what I'm saying? All that time.
You talking about Fergie?
Yeah, but I'm
Nah,
not saying
I
like that's
fuck
rap though.
Fergalicious
But I
is
understand what
one of
you're
my
trying to
favorite
say.
songs.
Fergie
Yeah,
did
but
what
it's
she
all
did.
rap though.
No, but that was
You're right. You're right though.
That was
You got wrong.
Fergie's whole thing though. She ain't never really like.
No,
You got Pink.
She wrote a wave.
No, you're right. You're right about that. You were right. You're right about both.
Hey,
I was thinking
Did
about
Pink
the
come
other day.
out like that though?
Bro, you
She
look
definitely
at
had a phase.
look at
Oh,
Pink's
yeah,
first
I
album.
think
She
was
Pink-
Lady
Pink
Marmalade and all that.
I
Yeah.
Not like
No,
that.
her first album in '98. Look
Saying
at.
she looked
I
black.
thought she was black the entire
know,
time. The way
yeah,
she
yeah.
made her
Some people
music
did.
and she
Actually, I
sang.
did.
What's
I
that
heard
black
that.
man?
But she also could just sing.
With a short haircut.
Hey,
No, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
that's
Any white woman with a short haircut.
No, but you're right. But you were right about Pink, and then I forgot what her
Fergie?
Fergie, yes, and Gwen Stefani. Her biggest hit was "Hollaback Girl,"
Yeah.
produced by Pharrell. You're right.
That run she had with Eve was.
But
like,
think about
Bro,
that.
they was putting out joints.
Think about that.
I can't even hate. They were putting out
Fergie
joints.
and Gwen, and I like all those songs, but Gwen Stefani, if she put out another album, wasn't no hip hop on it after.
Country.
Right. So she put that black
country
skin
ass
on.
husband.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was in a rock band before that or something.
She was
No
no
doubt.
doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. That's
They were all.
And they
I
did,
don't
I like
trust
some of
it.
this.
they did ska music.
Yeah.
And ska music originated from dancehall Jamaica. So I mean, listen, people they put on black skin and get hot. I just have a problem with that.
That
Oh,
shit
no,
weird.
I'm getting confused. I'm thinking of fucking Black Eyed Peas.
That shit
Damn,
weird.
bro, that's too many groups.
Oh, that's what Fergie was in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my point. It's just I don't know, man.
You let
We
one
gotta
in
have
and
something. Yes.
I mean,
It's
not-
too late though.
I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. It is too
thing.
late, and it's hard to say who's real, who's not. And I don't want to. And you know, big things. We're not trying to seem like we're taking away from anybody. I don't want to come across
I
like
think
that.
Jack Harlow was real and talented.
Bro, I'm about to say, like, yo, he's dope. It just becomes like, you know, and I also give credit to, you know, shout out to Eminem because Eminem does put on a lot of black artists.
He does.
So to give him credit, and he puts on like these underground dudes
That
that
nobody
nobody care
knows.
about. Shout out to, even though they don't bang with him no more, like, you know, Conway. Like Conway signed to Shady Records. He's not putting another album on there.
Oh,
Eminem's probably the only white rapper I will put in just generic hip hop, like up there. Like it's no, I don't think of any other white rapper that did what he did, and that's because he's authentic. He
And
came out the shit,
And that's why it's hard. And I mean,
and that's what hip hop is.
I'll call them hip hop. You can be hip. I'm not gonna say you're not hip hop. It's just as far as just like I know for sure you love hip hop and you're
Right.
gonna be a hip hop
He's
artist.
probably-
You're for the
Mac Miller
culture.
too, but
You're
that's
for the
well, with
culture.
Mac, the thing, like,
And Mac Miller.
I'm saying this. I love
Those
Mac,
two.
but even if you listen to like the last Mac albums, like before he died,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
he
ones
did
swimming
kinda-
pools
yeah.
and circles, it starts to lean toward folk, which he said in interviews. It starts to lean to different types of music. And I'm not saying it means he doesn't like hip hop, to be fair, but it is one of those things where it's like other artists, you know, you get on and now you have confidence to be like, oh, okay, I have 100,000 niggas listening to me. Hey guys, by the way, I make folk music.
By the way.
And that's just how it
By
is.
the way, I'm like,
And it's just one of those things, and that's why I say it don't want to say. And some of it really isn't bad. For some of these dudes, like, geez, I think his album sucked. But I mean, like for other people, some of it's good music. Like Mac Miller's last couple albums, awesome, amazing music. But it's one of
That
the
was
things.
the best work from a lot of people.
About to say what some people
Last
say.
two, bro.
The Divine Feminine is his best album, but
Oh, I thought that was included. Never mind. Sorry.
I'm sorry, that was he was still alive, but it was still rap on that. But yeah, just generally speaking, like you know, they go to their own side, they do their own thing. It's hard to have gatekeepers, and you don't want to seem like white people can't get on. It's one of those things where it's like, yo, you really do have to be selective in terms of watching how
There
some
should be
of
more
these.
scrutiny under
Yeah,
your
like-
resume.
And I'm not saying like you know every white artist go donate to the United Negro College
Yeah.
Fund. That's stupid. I can't say I
You don't gotta get on a track with Funk Master Flex and do like give like a 16.
Bro, like you know you ain't got like those Charlamagne interview tactics. What have you done for Black Lives Matter?
About to say,
Yeah, like you ain't gotta do all that. Like, fam, yo, absolutely, you should
He
respect
asked
black.
Post Malone that.
And this nigga was on nothing. Nigga, like, I mean, what are you supposed to say? What do you think he did?
That was one of Post Malone's first albums.
that's funny as shit.
It's like so ignorant. It's like, bro, like, yo, should they respect black people and black culture? Absolutely. I'm not out here begging y'all niggas to like spend your money on all these causes, but the biggest thing is, you know, just show respect, show reverence. Make sure that you lean in and tell who you know, got your style from, got your shit from. And I feel like, you know, some of the white rappers that are on today, you can respect the fact that they can at least name these people and be like, yo, look, I listen to this, I listen to that, give them credit, give them praise, you know, like,
Give them no cars to study for.
nigga, that's
So,
fine. Some of it does need to be presentation.
Hip hop is just not a coat to wear for a little while.
That's what I think.
And then you just change it to wear another coat. That's my point.
But some of these dudes though, even if you give no cards, you can. If they talk to you about hip hop, they can't get the weed. I'll give them credit. They aren't just like.
That's one thing I give to Jack. I don't think Jack.
Yeah,
is-
no, I like Jack
is-
Harlow.
That nigga's from Louisville, Kentucky. He actually
I
make
think
love
he's
hip
with the
hop.
shit. I think he's with the shits. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and it's, hey, bro, it's always gonna be
There should
subjective.
be more scrutiny on him. That's all I'm saying.
Damn, that's smooth.